नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल, वणक्कम, привет, hola, ni hao, ni hao. What are we doing? Basically, these are all different ways of greeting people through a language. Okay? So, language allows us to communicate with one another. We have achieved whatever we have achieved till now as a human being, whatever progress we have done as human beings is with the help of language and because we need to communicate our thoughts and all. Okay, so we need language to communicate our thoughts to one another. So we have spoken language in the form of spoken form, in written form and all. So today, as we are going to start our new journey of learning Russian language, uh, and before we embark on this particular journey of learning it, I thought we need to understand a bit about the country of which we are going to learn the language. So Russian language is basically it comes from Russia and other countries, closer countries to it. So, uh, yeah, we will just have a quick look on what is Russia as a country and how does it help us in, you know, communicating the language with the people and all. Okay, this is Russia. Okay, the yellow part is Russia. Okay, this is North Pole. This is Russia. Okay, now. Russia is a vast country, okay, if you can see it, it stretches over the vast expanse of Eastern Europe. These are all European countries, Eastern European countries. So it stretches from Eastern European country or Europe to the Northern Asia. This is Asia, this is China. Below this, we have India. So it stretches towards Northern Asia, comprising of much northern Eurasia. Then it stretches towards the east, towards China, North Korea, and all. Okay. Then we have few things to understand. See, this is Norway, Sweden, and all. This is Baltic Sea. Okay. So the countries close to it are known as Baltic countries. Okay, Baltic. Okay. So here we have Ukraine is there, then Azerbaijan, okay, then Latvia, Lithuania are there. Okay, these were all, even these was part of Russia. Okay, so 92, 93 or so, the Russia got divided into 14 different countries, means they all went away from, see, even Kazakhstan was part of Russia. Okay, then Tashkent, then see, this was part of Russia. So they all got divided and only the yellow part is remaining. But still, Russia is one of the biggest country in the world. Okay. So due to its size, it displays monotony and it displays diversity also. Okay. Then this is Caspian Sea. Caspian Sea is the lowest part of Russia in terms of height. Okay. Here there is towards this left close to Georgia is Mount Elbrus. Mount Elbrus is there. It is the summit, pinnacle of Mount Caucasus, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Mount Caucasus. Okay. Then you have this is very very prominent and famous place. This is called as Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal is one of the largest lake of the world. Okay, Lake Baikal. Okay, then over here somewhere there is what do you call Kaliningrad Oblast. That is the starting point of Russia. And towards the right, we have Kamchatka Krai. I'm sorry if the pronunciation is wrong, but it is something like that. Okay, so these 2 points are the beginning and ending points of Russia. Okay, we will talk about it later. Okay, so Russia is a vast place. So even if you go to countries like, these countries, European countries, then, Israel, then the border area of Afghanistan, then Tashkent, this Bishkek and all. So once you enter into these countries also, you can, you can communicate with people with Russian language. Okay, so we are going to learn this powerful language. Okay, and UNESCO has announced some 40 odd biosphere centers in Russia. It is known as climatically very important. Very UNESCO has declared some areas which are very, they have a lot of prominence, they have importance and all. Okay, so Russia, because it falls towards, this is North Pole, as I said, because it falls towards North Pole, the climate of Russia is very cool throughout the year. So probably best time to visit Russia is between May and September. Okay, then this is very rich in terms of minerals and coal and oil, gas, one of the richest country. Okay, then they have a lot of precious stones, precious materials, metals, diamonds, limestones are there. They are rich in granite. A lot of other things are there, good things and beautiful things to talk about. And Russians are very warm in terms of, their nature. Okay, so if you talk to them in Russian, they love it. So we have a lot of tourists coming. So even if you go to them, I mean, they're very warm-hearted people. Okay, let us go further and see what all borders, which all countries it shares its border with. So as we have seen, Finland, Norway, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, China, and Korea, which means you visit any of these countries, you can still survive with Russian language. It's that huge, impact it will have if you learn the language. So Russia has almost 83 federal states, starting from north to west to southeast. Okay. So very powerful language it is. So I think we will enjoy our journey. Okay, when I spoke to you about the two extreme points of east and west, the first one was Kaliningrad, which was closer to left side. I mean Eastern Europe. So it is just because it is the point from where the time zone starts. So Russia currently has 11 time zones. Okay, from that oblast, Kaliningrad Oblast. Oblast means region, basically. Okay, and that Baltic enclave. Okay, to Kamchatka Krai. It is towards China, towards the right, I mean extreme right, easternmost region. So when the easternmost region moves towards the Magadhan time zone, the time difference with Kaliningrad is reduced to 9 hours. Okay, so a country having 11 time zones means it is vast. I think it is one of the countries which has that many time zones. Okay, coming to area and population, area we have just taken an idea about it. So it is a transcontinental country located in Eastern Europe and Northern Asia, covering an area of 6.6 square million kilometers. It is the largest country in area. Even after the disintegration, it still remains to be the largest country. Okay, and it has more than 1/8 of the population. So estimated population is around 150 million. Okay. So one thing I just forgot to mention when we were talking about population, there is a little variation of ratio between men and women. Okay, the population of men is somewhere around 40 plus, and women is 54 plus. Okay, percentage I'm talking about. So ratio of men as compared to women is less, just because of a reason that a lot of men got wiped out in what do you call World War II. So ratio is very less. That gap, ratio of men and women gap, is still there. Okay, it is very evident. Okay, so yeah, going further, we will have the flag of Russia. Okay. So Russian flag is, it has three colors: white, blue, and red. Okay. It is also known as Znamia. Znamia Russi means flag of Russia. Okay. So white represents nobility and frankness. Then blue represents honesty, and red represents love and generosity. And this is very true with them. They are very loving. They are very generous. Okay. So there is an emblem in between. Okay, this is known as two-headed eagle. What is two-headed eagle? The most widespread belief about this is, I mean, they don't use it anymore, but still it has a lot of significance in a lot of flag they still have. Okay, this white, there's a widespread belief that this eagle, it faces east and west, symbolizing the geographic position, because it's a huge country. Okay, it's geographic position of Russia. This is also seen as an allegory, sometimes for unity and sometimes for absolute monarchy. Okay. It is a form of government, where queen and king, they have, in fact, they had power on everything around them. Okay. Moving further, so now we need to know a little bit about the Constitution of Russia. Constitution of Russia, the powerful person is president, of course. Okay. Then it's a multi-party system with executive power exercised by the government. The government of Russia, apart from president who heads the nation, they have prime minister, they have deputy prime minister, and federal ministers are there. Okay. Coming to economy of Russia. Russian economy is upper middle income, mixed kind of, transition economy they have. It is one of the fifth largest national economy, okay, in Europe, because of the richness of minerals and coal and whatever they have. They are one of the powerful countries. Okay, it is 11th largest nominal GDP in the world and 6th largest purchasing power parity it has. Okay, so when we were talking about government of Russia, we should importantly talk about this person. He is none other than Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is one of the powerful persons in the world, in the top powerful people. Okay. So when the disintegration took place, the first person was Yeltsin. Boris Yeltsin was the first person to be elected, 92, 93 I'm talking about. Then Vladimir Putin was the second president of Russia. 2000 was the first time when he got elected. So their term of president is 6 years. Okay, like with does it is, I think, 4 years prime ministership. Okay. Over there it is 6 years. So he has already served 2 terms then, okay, from 2000 onwards, 2 terms. Then in between one more guy had come, I am not remembering his name. And again he has got re-elected now. So he's the current president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. Okay, so coming back to language. So what is it that we are doing from today? We are going to learn a new language, Russian language. So it is, there are 160 ethnic groups in Russia. Okay, they speak different dialectics. Dialectics is different variations of language. Okay, but still Russian language is the largest native language in Europe. Again, all the countries which got divided, they have their own language. Like Ukraine has Ukrainian, then Latvian. They have different language, but still they consider Russian language as their official language even today. Okay, so it is native language in Europe and most of the geographically widespread language in Eurasia. It is widely spoken. It is Slavic languages. It belongs to the family of Slavic language, okay, which has 144 million speakers. Wow, just imagine that is the language you are going to learn. Okay, and Russian language is seventh most spoken language in the world, and it is one of the important languages in United Nations also. Okay, you know me. Now, when I'm learning a language, I need few goals to be set. I need to set some goals, okay, just to understand how do I progress. See, it is all like we have to keep self-check. When I'm doing something new, I need to keep self-check. Okay, we are grown-up people. We need to understand why am I learning this language. Okay, is it useful only for my traveling purpose, or am I going to develop a new communication skill, or am I getting into a new career with this language? Okay, so everything needs, either anything you want to get into, all of them needs investment of time, every day. Okay, and overall investment, like you need to put a goal saying that 6 months may I'll be here, 1 year may I'll be here. Okay, set a goal for yourself and do some serious work. Very important, very important. Okay, I remember when we were children, unless until we write something, we were not allowed to study at home. Okay, so if I want to learn a new word, I am supposed to write it again and again. So I have realized that the retention power is very high when you pen down something. Okay, so penning down is important. So when you are sitting in the class, please pen down whatever is told to you. Then grammar makes that language spoken in a very good way. Okay, there are people who talk without grammar sense, but we have to be little conscious about grammar just because grammar makes the language sensible. Okay, then vocabulary of course is very important part of our learning. Okay, so what is there are a lot of people who ask me, is it easy, is it difficult? So there are good news, there are bad news also. Okay, so good news is Chinese has a lot of characters. Okay, but this doesn't have too many characters, only 33 letters. Okay, and you start reading. The moment you understand 33 letters, you start reading. So there's a good part. Okay, then grammar may you have a lot of cases. Okay, so it has cases like nominative case, genitive case, prepositional case. Okay, and you have dative case, instrumental case, and all. So this seems to be big. This is big also. Okay, but when you start doing it, you will start getting hang of it. Okay, this is very close to Sanskrit language. Even Sanskrit has 7 cases. Okay, so it is believed to be one of the tough languages to learn, but it is one of the very beautiful language just because it is musical, number one. And if you learn the language, you can enjoy the writings of, you know, the literature is very immense. Russian literature is very good. Okay, so you can read Leo Tolstoy, you can read Pushkin. Okay, you will not find anyone in Russia who wouldn't know Pushkin poems by heart. Okay, they know it by heart, and the kind of language he has used in his literature is so beautiful. It's very good. Okay. Oh yeah. Privyat. Privyat. Privyat means hello. Kagzilla. Kagzilla. Kagzilla means how are you? Okay. This language uses Cyrillic script. This name of this script is Cyrillic. Okay, like you have Latin, French, or Spanish. It uses Latin script. This uses Cyrillic script. It also has some Latin letters in it. So overall, there are 33 letters. It has 21 consonants, 10 vowels, 2 signs. So English has only 5 vowels. This has 10 vowels. Vowels are divided in two places: hard, vowels and soft vowels. We'll get into all these details. Okay. See, this is how it looks. Okay, so don't get scared. I told you 33, you say that this is much more than 33. It is not that way. Okay, so this is the printed format in books, what you can see. This is the printed small letter format. Okay, in books you will normally see the bigger one. Okay, and this is cursive writing of Russian, big letters, and the other one is cursive small. So in Russia, if you go to kindergarten itself, they have a habit of writing in cursive form. So I always encourage my students to know all these patterns, just because you should not get stuck anywhere. So if you receive a letter from a Russian, you will be amazed to see that he will not use this printed form. He will use either of this form, either big or small. So you should know. So day one, from when we start writing, we will be focusing on this. And anyhow, when we read books, books are always in this printed form. Okay, let us see the alphabets now. So it is A. A. A is like after booze. A. B. B. Or day. It is just a sound. Day. Okay, then V. Or V. Gay. Gay. Day. Day. A. Yo. Yo. Z. 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 E. E. Ikorotkoi. Ikorotkoi. K. K. L. L. Twist a little. L. L. Ma. Ma. Na. Na. O. O. P. P. Or P. P. R. R. Se. S. S. Just a second, guys. T. T. It is not T, it is T. T. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, just blowing it from your lips, okay? Then it comes from deep throat. S, 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 ch, ch, sh, 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 sh. Tverdi-Zinak. Tverdi-Zinak means hard sign. I spoke to you about two signs. This is hard sign. This doesn't have any sound of its own. This is known as Tverdi-Zinak. Tverdi means hard. Zinak means sign. Again, this comes from your throat. Then your soft sign. Soft sign also doesn't have its own, what do you call, no sound is there. Okay. Then A, U, yeah. See, a lot of them you can identify. So what we have done is you should have smart learning techniques. We need not work hard, but we can work smartly. So what we have done, we have divided the entire 33 letters into 4 groups. For example, see this one. This is it, same look and sounds same as English. Okay. So out of 33, if I'm able to take out 5, which means that I'm already through with 5 letters. I already know 5 letters of English, of Russian. See, this is A. It is same as English. A. A. This is A. This is E of English, but it's A of. This is A. This is A. Very, very, minute difference. K. This is K of English. This is K of English. Ma. This is M of English. This is ma. So I think Hindi speaking guys will be able to relate it a little more better. Ma, a, ka hisab se. This is O. T. It is T in English, but it is T. Okay. So you can give back to yourself that we already know 5 letters. Okay, next is, it looks like English letters, okay, more or less, but they have different sounds. For example, this is V of Russian. V, it is not D, it is V of Russian. This is Z, like J, Z. This is not H, this is N. N is like nose. N. This is R. This is not T of English. This is R. It's like raising a vehicle, motorbike. If you raise the accelerator or the R. This is not C. This is S of Russian. It's like hissing sound of the snake. This is O. This is Ch. Okay, it's like chair or cha-cha or church kind of thing. Ch. It's like CH of English. This is H. It comes from here. H. Okay. Then sounds like English, but it looks very different. Yeah, let us check it out. This is B. It's like B of English. B. This is G. It's like G of English. G. D. It's like D of English, but this is D. This is yo. Yo is like Y-O. Yo. Okay, yo. Z. It's like pleasure, treasure kind of thing. J. Okay. This is P. Okay. This is F kind of thing. This is E. This is Ikarotkoi. Okay, the letter itself is known as Ikarotkoi. This is La. See, difference between Pa and La is, this is straight line, it has a little bit, twisted. Okay, La. Then this is T-S. Okay. Then this is Sh. Then this is Sh. See, technology has its own limitations, so don't worry. Just focus on the learning. Then this is Sh. This is A. A is of Everest, area and all. Okay. A. This is U. Okay. This is one standing line, one O kind of thing, and there is one connecting line in between. Okay. This is Ya. Ya in Russian means I. Ya znаю means I know. Ya. Okay. Then new look and sounds. Okay. comes from here. Then this is Tverdizinak and this is Nyakizinak. Okay, so this is very important because this makes the word either hard or soft. Okay, so there was a time when all the words used to have hard signs. Okay, then again, language, it goes on lots of there are a lot of people who keep on working on the language, and they come out with changes every now and then. Okay, then they said, when it is already sounding hard, why do we need this hard sound? So hard sound letters are words are very few in Russian language, and the soft signs are used in a very, very bigger way. So we will discuss all these things when we are actually into the, that particular area of learning. Yeah, just to be, getting the hang of the language, I wanted to, teach you few sentences or words as a take home. Okay, what is this? Question, what and answers. What is this? Что это? See, Russian doesn't have this helping words. Okay, so что это? Okay, что means what? Это means this. Что это? Okay, for example, if I ask что это? Это ручка. Это ручка. So in English we say this is pen or this is a pen. So is not there, a is not there. Okay, so this is pen. Это ручка. That's it. Okay, what is there? Что там? Что там? Там means there. Что we already know now. Что это? Что это? Что это? Okay, so там means there. What is here? What is here? Что тут? What is here? Tooth is here. Okay, tam is there. Okay, what are you doing? Что вы делаете? Делать is a verb, so it is a conjugated form. Okay, in English conjugation is not there, but people who know other languages, they'll be able to understand what is conjugation. Hindi may be have. In Hindi also we have मैं जा रही हूँ, वो जा रहा है, kind of thing. Okay, so it's a conjugated form. And delach is the verb. Okay, we means you, respected form. Okay, respected form. Delaiche. Okay, what do you want? Что вам нужно? Что вам нужно? Okay, so what do you want? Нужно means want. Нужно. Okay, then we have some salutations. Okay, every day, when we wish people and all. So it is привет. Привет. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. Привет is hello. Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте is namaskar. Привет is very informal way of saying hello. Доброе утро. Доброе утро. Good morning. Хорошего дня. Good day. Хорошего дня. Спокойной ночи. Good night. Пока. Пока. Bye bye. Okay, these are all salutations. Okay, so in coming videos we will be seeing all this. Thanks for watching, and let us have a great learning experience together. Thank you so much. Пока.